सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। परीक्ष्य लोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायान्नास्त्यकृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत्। समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम्। We started to look at the words one by one. I don't think we finished it. We started, I think first line we did, that's all. Parikshya, iksh dhatu, and then parikshya means having examined or examining. So after examining, so first of all, what are we examining? Lokan parikshya. Lokyate iti lokaha. That which is lokyate anubhuyate iti lokaha. That which is experienced is called loka. So loka is not one particular place but all fields of experiences. All fields of experience, whatever it is. So Shabda Sparsha, Rupa Rasa Gandha, and everything that you experience with the sense organs, everything that is experienced by the mind, all of them are called lokas. Not just one particular place either. Iha, like going to Uttarakashi, or Amutra, like going to Swarga. Not particularly any one thing. And then what are all those lokas? The description of the loka is in the next word, karma chitan lokan. So karma chitan means gathered by karma. What kind of karma? Papa, punya. We can go one direction, papa, punya, or we can say the Vaidika karma plus upasana. That also we can say, both are relevant. So loka becomes sadhya vastu and the sadhanas become karma and upasana. That's one trajectory we can go. Or we can say anything that is, generally we can say anything that is gathered by any karma is called karma chitan. And then we already saw karma being finite. Karma phala is what? Finite. And so here we have this very strong hint which is going to be developed in the Bhashya, is that the loka is equal to karmachita. If karmachita, that which is collected by karma, karma phala is finite, then the loka is also what? Karma phala. Being karma phala, that is also what? Finite. And brahmanaha, brahmanaha, brahma plus an, brahmanaha, and then what is that? We can say Vedaha adhite. So one who studies the Veda, one meaning. Another meaning is that the one who is the one who is interested in Brahman, another meaning. Or we can say somebody who has got knowledge, shastrajnaha, panditaha, the one who has got knowledge of the first portion of the Veda. Adi Shankara takes it that way because of the sandarbha, the context. What is the prakarana here? Graduating from karma to knowledge, and so he takes it that way. But Sureshwaracharya says anybody who has the qualification for this is called Brahmana. Qualification for what? Brahma Vidya is called Brahmana. So, this Brahmana means adhikari, upalakshana for adhikari. And then, so what must this person do? The qualified person for Vedanta, what is the first task? Ayat kuriyat. May one develop, may one have. What ayat? What kuriyat? Nirvedam. So, Veda with fourth conjugation, vidyate. So that when you put nir in front of it, it has the prefix has the meaning of vairagya. As we know, the prefixes and suffixes change the meaning of the word. And so Adi Shankara will explain nif purvaha, nihi when you put in front, and then vidihi atra. Vidihi, what is this vidihi? Ikstipa nirdesha. So we will see it in the Bhashya. So with atra it can be confusing. So one way to talk about the verbs, this is a useful Sanskrit trivia, one way, Paninian trivia, one way to talk about these verbs is to either use the first, what is that called, singular, third person, present tense, ending, and then you use that to refer to the whole verb. He does this in that is called tip nirdesha, because ti is there. He does this in Taittiriya Bhashya while explaining what is that, nihitam guhayam. He says guhatehe samvaranarthasya arthasya. So for this word guhatehe, there is no such word guhatehe. Guhati, and then that is made into sixth case, guhatehe. That is called tip nirdesha. And here the root verb with, he will make it into, he will put an e. So vidihi like harihi. So that is called ik nirdesha. It is good for pronunciation, etc. Together they are known as ikstipa nirdesha. So then, so with here, nir plus with means vairagya. May one cultivate a distaste, really, a mild distaste for all these finite things, by understanding that what one really wants is what? Infinite. And the mild distaste is talked about very well in, what is that called? Atma Bodha. I think it says, yathaiva kakavishtayam. Kakavishta means what? Dropping of a crow. Yes. Which one gets blessed by sitting under a tree or walking under a tree. So you walk under a tree, you have a dropping on the shoulder, and then what do? You don't say, oh, let it be, I'm going to the restaurant to have a nice dinner. You don't do that. You get sick of it, you look for some tap somewhere, or you go back to your home and then change, wash it off, and then go. So when all the lokas, the entire world is like crow dropping, then that means that is the kind of vairagya that one has to have for all the drishyam jagat, for all this world. That is very attractive, very seen, but then extremely finite. And then nirvedam ayat. Ayat means may one cultivate, kuryat. And then what is this, the subject of this cultivation? Na asti is not there. What is not there? Akritaha kritena. Akritaha uncreated. Na kritaha akritaha. Not nanj tatpurusha, not kri plus kta, not done, not manufactured. So the unmanufactured limitlessness is not a product of kritam karma. It's not a product of action. Kritena karmana akritam brahma na. And then what happens? Then there is a flight. What is the flight? From being a general person who is looking for freedom from something or the other, freedom from strife, freedom from conflict, freedom from moneylessness, freedom from feeling bad, all these things are there, freedom from relatives. And then, so all these freedom from dysfunctional relationships. So many freedoms are there, so many ways in which this freedom can be wanted. So, so many ways in which this notional bondage can be experienced. Then that all that freedom, I have striven for this freedom. How? By using the wrong means. Why? Because I am using karma. I am using karma for something that is the bondage that is notional, will not be ousted by action. Action that is material cannot oust a notional bondage. This is why one has to take the flight from karma to atmajnanam, and that is described how? Tat vijnanartham. What is that? Tat brahma. That which is akritam. Tat, this akritam, the akritam na. So that akritam vijnanartham. So now we enter the realm of what? Not doing, but being and knowing. Understanding that I am a knowing being. Tad vijnanartham saha. Who is saha? Brahmanaha. Earlier it connects to that. This person, saha. Who is this person? Brahmanaha, the one who is interested in this infinity as oneself. May that person go where? Guru gachet, abhigachet. Abhigachet means having examined everything. Gachet where? Gurum eva, only going to the Guru, because the Guru unlocks the Shastra. So the surrender here is not to the Guru. We have to understand that. The surrender is not to a person, the surrender is not even to the Shastra, the surrender is to Pramana. And I will be talking a little more of that before we understand, we look at the Bhashya. The surrender is to the Pramana. And so I surrender to the Pramana, and the surrender to the Guru comes automatically. Why? The Guru is the handler of the Pramana, and the altar of surrender must not require my surrender. That is the correct altar of surrender. The one who is dispassionate even about my surrender is the right altar to surrender to, because there is no agenda there. There is no selfish agenda, including let me see how many people are surrendering. Even that notion is not there. And so, Gurumeva abhigachet. So the Guru becomes a source, a reliable source for this knowledge. And who is this Guru? Shrotriyaha. Shrotriya. One Samit Pani we'll see later. Shrotriyaha. Shrotriyaha means chandaha adhite. Chanda is not Chandogya Upanishad. Chanda is not mantra. Chanda is short form for Veda, Vedanta. Chandodhite. That is the technical definition of Shrotriya. Shrotriya means, we saw in detail yesterday, somebody who is done Shravanam, somebody who is safe because they have undergone whatever you have undergone. There is nothing that you are undergoing that they have not undergone in their own life and come out of it. And so therefore they become a reliable mentor, a guide for you to overcome the same thing. And so like this, Gurumeva abhigachet Shrotriyam, and what else? Brahmanishtham, Brahmani nishtha yasya saha. Nishtha nitaram sthitihi. Nitaram sthiti means unvarying abidance. Unwavering abidance in what? In this Brahman alone. And I told you, out of the two qualifications, which one can I check up? Shrotriya. Brahmanishta, I cannot, put one microscope in their head and find out what they are thinking. Not possible. And so, whether their commitment is to Brahman or to something else, I don't know. So therefore, Shrotriya is the one that I have to check up and find out and choose the right Guru, because here the qualifications of the Guru are given because one makes the mistake frequently of choosing the wrong Guru. First, what is the mistake is twofold. First, the feeling is Guru should choose me. This is not a high school prom, okay? Yeah, high school dance. Somebody should choose me. Nobody, no Guru of the right, in the right mind is going to choose you. No, not at all. And if somebody says, I am choosing you, just back off slowly, okay? Yeah, don't study with them. Absolutely do not study with them. Back off slowly or change the topic. No Guru should say, come study with me. In any tradition, you see, who goes to who? Teacher comes to student or student goes to teacher? Student has to go to the teacher. And so, therefore, the first thing is this, there is a spiritual romanticism. I have to be chosen, I have to be selected by the teacher. No teacher is going to select you, okay? So, you have to recognize your own problem and approach the teacher. That is there in all traditions, in all monastic traditions, this is the same rule that is followed. And then what else? Then the other thing is the temptation to choose the Guru who I like. That means what? The raga dveshas are in play. One person came to Pujya Swamiji and said, I really want to study with you. Swamiji said, study, come, take all the retreats, whatever it is, come. This was in America, in the United States. And then he said, but I already have a Guru. Okay, study with him then. He has taken a lifelong vow of silence. Yeah, very Maunavyakhya prakatita parabrahma tatmayuvanam. Lifelong vow of silence. So all I can, and then once a day or 2 times a day, he allows himself to write on a, what is that called, slate, with a piece of chalk. Or maybe 3 times, 3 times a day around his meal times he would write something, sometimes a message, or sometimes if somebody asked a question he would write, but very short answer. The slate was only this small, and then he would just be lifelong vow of silence. But the eyes are dripping with kindness, and the whole body is dripping with knowledge, a knowledge that is unexpressed. He has chosen not to teach. And then, but this person's heart is given to such a teacher. And then Pujya Swamiji said, I'm just curious, how did you select him? And he said, I selected him because I grew up in a joint family. And then there was just lot of cacophony, everybody screaming, everybody talking, everybody fighting, everybody just wanting a word in. And then I said, I want Shanti, oh Lord, I want Shanti. And when I sat with this teacher, he didn't say a word. So I fell in love not with the teacher, but with the silence. You see, this is how the heart is given. Because of one's own background, one's own raga dveshas, one may choose the wrong teacher, one may choose, wrong means wrong for you. That's what it is. Because this knowledge is based on what? Shabda pramana, words. But Lord Dakshinamurti taught in silence. He didn't teach in silence. He just taught through Vedantic sign language, Chin Mudra. You, whatever is represented by the accusing finger, the ahankara, are not the body, mind, sense complex, are not shariratraya, are not avasthatraya. What are you? You are this connected to this, identical with Brahman, the thumb, which is always made fun of by these four fingers. Yet without the thumb, the hand has no functionality, and so therefore first the ahankara is made to bend and then show that you are one with that. This is clean Vedanta. No, I also want to be taught by sign language. Become like one of the four sages sitting underneath. Then you will also understand sign language. Who are the sages? Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, Sanat Sujata. Highly evolved sages. That so much, no ragadvesha, nothing in the heart. The heart is so pure that one sign language is enough to make them understand. When we become like that, we can also understand through silence. Are we like that? Say no, so we can move on. We are not like that. So therefore we need, what kind of a teacher we need? Talky teacher, yeah. Walkie talkie teacher we need. Yes. So therefore we have to go beyond the ragadveshas to choose. Therefore Shrotriya, this particular, what is that called, qualification, is an objective qualification, so that my own subjectivity doesn't come in choosing the teacher that I like, or not choosing somebody even though they are good for me, even though they are the right person for me. I don't choose them because again ragadveshas are in play. So like this, that's why these qualifications are given. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. How to go with to the teacher? In a spirit of service. I am ready to do whatever it takes for this knowledge. I am ready to undergo whatever trials, tribulations for this knowledge, to show that one is in a spirit of service. Always one takes twigs. So Samitpanihi doesn't mean one twig. Okay, yeah. And Adi Shankara notes all these things very carefully, nothing escapes him. And in the Bhashya he is going to say Samidbhara Pani. That bhara means you should be being weighed down by the sticks. You should be grunting, groaning, carrying it into the place, into the hall where the teacher is sitting. It should not be just some one twig I am taking. Yo, Guru, here, take. No. You should have worked very hard to do this. Otherwise, what is the point? You take one twig, two twigs, it's not enough. So this is, of course, if the Guru is a householder. And the whole Upanishad extols the householder parampara. We see that right from the beginning, and so this is appropriate here. If the Guru is a sannyasi, then you don't take firewood. That's an inappropriate present. So you take what is that? Something else that is appropriate. So Samitpanihi, Upalakshana, Upaharapanihi, carrying a gift. Why carrying a gift? Guru has not yet taught. Why should I give gift beforehand? To butter up the Guru? No. There is a Shastric injunction. What is the injunction? 3 kinds of people may not be seen empty-handed. Riktapanir napashyet, Rajanam Daivatam Gurum. 3 kinds of people must not be seen empty-handed. One is what? Raja. And then right now there are no Rajas, head of state. So even if you didn't vote for that person appears in front of you, or you don't go empty-handed. That is the customary practice. Then who else? Daivatam means a place of worship. You don't go to the temple empty-handed. Even if you don't have anything, you put something in the offertory box, hundi. Then what else? Guru. Guru also you don't go empty-handed. And by custom this rule is extended to when you see a small baby under 1 year old for the first time. Then also, even though that baby is not related to you, somebody comes to show you the baby, you give it a little something, because it is seen as a manifestation of Bhagavan. And so therefore, Samitpanihi. Therefore, you have the, you go along with something to see the Guru, to show the spirit of service, and to also follow this custom, the customary practice. And then what? So then we have to have a little bit of a discussion on pramana vyapara before entering the bhashya. So this pramana, which is in the form of shastra, which is handled by the Guru, is what? Is an absolute sure way of gaining the knowledge, provided I receive the pramana after suspending my ragadveshas, after suspending how I feel about the shastra, after suspending all the other conflicting notions that may come. That's why that shraddha has to be cultivated. That shraddha has to be cultivated, and that shraddha will come only after pariksha. That pariksha, the examination of all the worlds we saw yesterday, that every holiday is like every other holiday. It just has a combination of water, trees, sand, or mountains, or some combination of all of them, or some of them. Every holiday is like the holiday before. Every person is like the person you met before. Every marriage is like the marriage before. Old wine in new bottle. That is all it is. Yeah. Same issue, but a new person. That's all. Same issue. Why same issue again and again? Because that's part of the karma. That's a karmic knot. Vidyate hridaya granthihi. This knot is removed. The same Upanishad will tell later on. So when I see the same everything, and then same old, then only the pariksha comes, and then after that I realize that there is only one way out, and if this way is also closed to me, then there is no more hope for anything. When I realize this and understand this passionately, then there is the building blocks of Shraddha already in place. I have to cultivate Shraddha from this place of understood desperation. It's a desperation, all right. Like the person whose head is on fire we saw yesterday. There is no other option. There is a dirty ditch water. Okay, I'll take it right now. So head is on fire. I just have to assuage this fire. So similarly, the Tibra Ichha for knowledge is also cultivated. It is called mumukshutvam. It is a very important, what is that called, qualification for adhikaritvam. And then that mumukshutvam is followed by shraddha. So shraddha in what? In how the pramana is received. And then we will see the shastric definition of pramana. The technical definition of pramana is threefold. First is abadhitam pramanam, that which is non-negatable. For example, if I open my eyes and say, this is a flower, can you negate that? No. No, I see a samosa. That means what? Yeah. That means where is the dosha? In the object or in the subject? Yeah, in the subject. You are thinking of samosa, that's why you are seeing samosa everywhere. So, therefore, the understanding that it is any pramana in its own realm is abadhitam, non-negatable. And whatever you know by this one pramana cannot be refuted by anything else. Every pramana is a king in its own reign, meaning what it reveals is anadhigatam. Anadhigatam, na adhigatam. Na adhigatam means not possible by any other means of knowledge. So now I say, this is what? Flower. I open my eyes, this is in front of me. Flower knowledge has taken place or not? Yes, instantly flower knowledge has taken place. But then suppose I say, today my eyes are very blurry, or I have cataract, I can't see very well. Today I am going to look at the flower with the help of the ear. Not possible. Ear is a Raja in its own realm of objectifying sounds, letting the sounds come to light. Eyes are the king where when it comes to shape, form, etc., color. Eyes are the king. So each pramana is anadhigata. Anadhigata means not available for any other means of knowledge. So now how should I treat the pramana called Veda, Vedanta? Not available for any other means of knowledge. People tell us, why you Vedantins are so fanatic? Why not be accommodative? Why only you keep on harping knowledge, knowledge, knowledge? You don't know any other word other than Ajnanam and Jnanam. Only 2 words you know, and the whole 3-month course you will conduct with these 2 words only, Ajnanam and Jnanam. Why? Why can't you be accommodated? Why can't I intuit this knowledge? One day I just sat in the deep throes of meditation, and then suddenly this knowledge filled me up and whatnot. The intuition is not a pramana. It's not a pramana. Why is it not a pramana? It is there. Intuition is there. Intuition is an insight. An insight that is based on perception, memory, and some wisdom. And so, therefore, we can say that intuition we are not denying, but intuition is not a means of knowledge. Because you don't know the why, you don't know the how, you don't have any explanation there. So this is anadhigata. So for anything that is dependent only on the words of the Shastra explained properly, so in a way that I can see what the teacher sees, then only that it becomes a pramana. That is what makes it a pramana, because it is not possible any other way. Why can't I sing myself from Ajnanam to Jnanam? What will happen? Nothing will happen. Singing will help you develop Shraddha, will help in the form of Karma Yoga, will help clear the heart to understand this knowledge, but will not replace this knowledge. Why can't I sing my way to moksha is like saying, why can't I watch this flower with my ear? Not possible. Just not possible. So this is anadhigatam. Abadhitam we saw, it cannot be negated by any other pramana. Anadhigatam, every pramana is a king in its own realm and cannot be substituted by some other pramana. And then the third one, arthavat phalabodhakam. Arthavat means it should be meaningful. Suppose I prove, because I am sitting here and talking now, behind the curtain is an elephant. Yeah. Is it arthavat? Does it have meaning? No. There is no way of proving it also, and this is called the tasmat logic of the Purva Pakshis. Purva Pakshis think like this. Tasmat means what? Therefore. Everything is therefore logic. The therefore there is no Purva Para connection. There is no before after connection, and you suddenly say therefore. Therefore it's like this. And here there is no such thing possible, because it is unfolded in a way that removes samsara totally, because samsara is where? In this temple, okay, between the 2 temples. Samsara is. And so it is notional, and by the help of which words handled by the teacher that samsara is removed, that is what is called arthavat. It is meaningful to me. The words of the Shastra are meaningful to me. You are limitless, you are whole. Not only is it meaningful, I like to hear this. And then finally arthavat is connected to phalabodhakam. Phalabodhakam means there is jnana phalam. And what is this jnana phalam? It is real. Why? We see in the life of Mahatmas like Pujya Swamiji being unafflicted by the samsara. We see that. And we see so many Mahatmas doing that, and we see not only that, we see the description of the Jnani everywhere in the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. So we know that this is a possibility. And not only that, we see ourselves having this glimpse of knowledge every now and then growing slowly to understand that I am not subject to all this. So like this, this is phalabodhakam arthavat pramanam. So this pramana, so this pramanyam of the Shastra, giving the status of the pramana to the Shastra, is called Shraddha. Reverential acceptance of the words of the Shastra, which is coming through the teacher. So the teaching and the teacher are accepted with bhakti and shraddha. This is what is called pramanya buddhi. What if the pramana doesn't work? It worked for everybody except me. This is the feeling. Pramana will always work. There is no way it will not work. Like I said, if the eyes are open and this flower is in front of you and your eyes are open, can I tell you, if I told you, please do not look at this flower. Keep your eyes open, but do not look at this flower. Can you oblige me? Not at all. Knowledge will take place. Why? Because the karma and knowledge are very distinct in one very important way, because karma is based on what? The doer, the agent of karma. Knowledge is not based on the agent of knowledge, i.e. the buddhi, manaha. No, the knowledge is based on what? On the object itself. The knowledge is as true as the object. If I hold this and say, look at this juicy mango in my hand, what will you say? This is a trick. Everybody knows. This is a trick, this is not, this is just to make some point clear, because this is neither juicy nor is it a mango. So therefore, that this is a flower is objectively true, meaning it is based on the object, not on the subject. I may want it to be a mango, I may want a mango for breakfast, I may want to play with the mango, I may want to play catch with the mango and not the flower, but it's not, even if I pray very hard, it's not going to turn into mango. Why? Vastu tantram jnanam. Tantram dependent on. Knowledge is as true as the object, whereas action is dependent on what? The doer, the subject, the karta. Kartru tantram karma. Tantram means dependent upon. Vastu tantram jnanam. So pramana, if the pramana is there, if the pramana is received, if the eyes are open, the eyes are clear, knowledge will take place. That which is based on the eyes, i.e. flower. Now substitute flower with Brahman, and then how will I know I am Brahman? If the mind is free of raga dveshas, not if, when. When the mind is relatively quiet, tranquil, free of its own agenda, free of raga dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices, the knowledge will absolutely take place. And then we cannot say, give me the proof. The proof is in the knowing. Pujya Swamiji will always give this example of the person who had some kind of eye operation, corneal transplant. It wasn't there before, and she was blind, but then she had this operation. So 4-5 days they kept her in the bandages, and then after that, a very exciting day, bandage is going to be removed. Her eyes were so bad she couldn't see anything. So here, this was another chance at seeing. And the doctor said, come on madam, please open your eyes. No. Why? What's the problem? Is it too bright in the room? Shall I draw the curtains? No, that's not the problem. I just don't want to be disappointed. Therefore, I will not open the eyes. That means what? That means here, no vision can take place. The eyes, one has to open the eyes. And the opening of the eyes means receptivity to this vision. That's the upalakshana. Because really speaking, there is no will involved in the pramana operation. If the eyes are open, where is the will? There is maybe a small will, but you cannot say, I will to see. Sight takes place, hearing takes place. That's why many times you hear things about you that you don't want to hear. People are talking, you are just walking, But then you heard your name. The footsteps automatically slowed down. And then you said, what are they saying? And you wished you hadn't heard. That means what? You can't always hear what you want. You can't always see what you want. There is no will involved in the operation of pramana. Whether the pramana is pratyaksha or shabda, even if it is shabda pramana, there is no operation of the will at all involved. And so therefore what? Therefore the knowledge has to take place if there is receptivity and if there is preparation. So therefore this is a very, for many reasons, this is a very important verse. And Adi Shankara goes to town with the Bhashya. Let us see what he does. Okay. Parikshya yat etat Rigvedadi Aparavidya Vishayam. Yeah. Rigvedadi, what happened? Oh, Sangati was there. Okay, all right. Let me open it to that page. I don't have it here. 1 second. We haven't done that, right? Sangati we have done? No. I thought we did that, but maybe I'm mistaken. It said something about, what is that? Atha idanim asmat sadhya sadhana rupat sarvasmat samsarat yatiriktasya parasyam vidyayam adhikara pradarsanartham idam uchyate. Yeah. Atha means thereafter what? After doing ninda of the aparavidya vishaya, after critiquing the finitude of karma based action, when in the last khanda, khandanam is done in the khanda. So therefore after doing that, what is there? So atha is the same atha as athato brahma jignasa, same atha. Atha means that all that has to be brought. Atha, after having gained this maturity, atha, seeing the impermanence of karma based actions and karma phala in the form of karma phala, seeing that the karma phala is going to lead me into this loop of samsara, birth, death, afflictions. So atha, thereafter, what? Idanim, now, what? Asmat, from this sadhya sadhana rupat. Asmat sadhya sadhana rupat. So this is a beautiful transition, like a transition mantra. So therefore the sadhya sadhana rupat asmat. So from this form, what is the form? Of ends and means. Ends and means. From this form of ends and means, what are the ends and means? We can look at it as karma, upasana. So those are the means. For what? Krishna Shukla Gati. Those are what? The ends. What is that? Bright path, solar path, lunar path. Solar path, lunar path, all this, right? So two kinds of paths, psychopath, sociopath, those who follow these paths. Okay. So atha idanim sadhya sadhana rupat. What is the sadhya? Krishna gati, shukla gati. That is the sadhya, or swarga is the sadhya, brahmaloka is the sadhya. And then what is the sadhana? Karma and or upasana. Karma by itself, kevalam karma, or karma buttressed by what? Upasana. So from all this, sarvasmat samsarat, from all this that constitutes the samsara, viraktasya, for the person who is not connected to this by any means at all. Now, virakta means asanga, the one who has vairagya. The one who says, I don't want to have anything to do with this. This section is going to speak to the one who has graduated from all that, sick of all that, been there, done that, been there, done that, don't want to be there and keep doing that. The one who has graduated, for him or her only, this section will speak. And for the rest of them, it will put them into nirvikalpa samadhi instantly. Pariksha lokan karmajitan. Because they don't find any meaning. But if you say, oh, do this upasana, oh yeah, how to do, tell me how to do, what will I get out of this, how long to do, when to do this, when not to do this, they are very excited. Why? Because quintessentially they have not been able to either question or drop, forget drop, they have not even been able to inquire into this doership which is doing havoc, wreaking havoc on their lives, life after life. And so for such people, this will not speak, this will speak only for who? Viraktaha. Samsarat sadhana sadhya rupat sarvasmat viraktasya. So viraktasya. So for this person who has this vairagya towards what? Swarga, Brahmaloka, that is the sadhya. And then what are the sadhana? Karma, upasana. And then so like this, or the sadhya can be Shuklagati, Krishnagati and everything else. So so all this, the virakta. And then Parasyam Vidyayam means the adhikaraha. Parasyam Vidyayam adhikaraha. So in this knowledge, for this knowledge, which is this knowledge? Paravidya. Parasyam Vidyayam adhikaraha. And what is the main adhikara? Vairagyam. That is the one that is going to be highlighted in this section. So the Vairagya becomes the Parasmat, Parasyam Vidyayam Adhikaraha. So to show the qualifications, the adhikara means the qualifications, the eligibility, the entitlement for this vidya, to show that for the one who has turned away from samsara, pradarshanartham, in order to do this show and tell, Shruti tells the following, Idam Uchyate. Idam Uchyate means this whole section, not just this mantra. Whole section starting with this mantra, Uchyate. Idam Uchyate. This is going to be said. This is being said. And then what is being said? We saw, we will start looking at that. Then, where is that? Hold on. Parikshya, having examined, yat etat rigvedadi aparavidya vishayam. So what is the object of pariksha? Aparavidya vishayam parikshya. That is the phrase here. So aparavidya vishayam parikshya, having examined the what? The subject matter of aparavidya. And where is it talked about? Rigvedadi. That which is the subject matter also of Rigveda, etc. Which part of Rigveda? Aittiriya Upanishad? No. Which part? First part. Not the Upanishad part. The first part, having completely and totally examined, nicely examined. And that Rigvedadi was talked about in the first khanda, verse 4 or something. What is Aparavidya Vishaya? So all that having examined. And so now the next segment we will see that it qualifies the Aparavidya Vishaya. Okay? Swabhaviki Avidya Kama Karma Doshavat Purusha Anushteyam. Yeah. So what is this? What is that called? Aparavidya. What is this relative knowledge? The relative knowledge is that which is Purusha Anushteyam, which is to be undertaken by the people. What kind of people? People subject to, doshavat means subject to the fallacies of this triad. What is the triad? Avidya, kama, karma. So all this is not qualifying the person. Ultimately it is qualifying aparavidya. What is this aparavidya? Aparavidya that is subscribed to, undertaken by people. The people are not important. What is important here? It's a qualifying aparavidya. The people are secondary here. That which is purusha anushteyam, meaning it cannot be, it cannot, by itself it is not going to cause problems. When it is subscribed to by people who are under the spell of the sahaja ajnanam, swabhaviki avidya. Swabhaviki avidya means the natural avidya. Organic. Okay, nowadays there's great thing for organic. In India, everything they put organic. Nobody is checking, nobody is testing, nothing. They just put organic. So one thing we know is organic is what? Avidya. Truly organic. Yes. It comes along with birth. So this avidya alone is truly organic. So this organic means nobody is born enlightened. Nobody is born. If somebody is born close to being enlightened, like we have an example, Ashtavakra. And that's because he did his karma yoga and all the preparations in the previous life, and while he was in the mother's belly, listened to the Shastra. The mother was a Vedanta student. And so she carried him, because she didn't have a choice, carried him to every class. And the teacher asked a question, mother and father both were going to the classes, and then teacher asked a question. And the parents gave a wrong answer, and the child, the baby in the womb cringed. Oh my God, you're embarrassing me, you don't even know this. They gave 8, this is one story, okay. They gave 8 wrong answers, so the poor child was bent in 8 different places, atrophied, because he held that bends, Ashtavakra, and went on to compose Ashtavakra Gita, which nobody can understand unless it is properly taught. Very highfalutin Vedanta. Okay, and so here the Purusha Anushteyam means it has to be performed, the Aparavidya Vishaya, which is in the form of karma. Anushteyam means it's in the form of karma. It has to be performed by the people. What kind of people? Who are in the spell of organic avidya, and then the avidya doesn't come by itself. Along with what does it come along with? Kama. Because when there is avidya, when I do not know that I am whole, free and limitless, what do I think? I am half, not whole, okay? And I am bound, not free, and I am finite, not limitless. So because I can't stand these thoughts of myself being finite, limited, bound, I have desire to be free. That is the kama, avidya kama. I don't understand the kama and how to resolve this desire by going to the knowledge. Therefore, I take recourse to karma. Avidya, kama, karma, shrinkhala. And again karma phala. And then after karma phala, again what happens? The samsara. So this is the cycle. So what is the cycle? What is the cause of this? What is the subject matter of aparavidya? That which is in the form of this cycle. This cycle which has many different components. First is, it is Purusha Anushteyam. It is to be done, to be performed, to be enacted by the Purusha, person. And what kind of a person? The person who is under the spell of avidya, kama, karma, chain, endless chain. And then further, avidyadi doshavantam eva purusham prati vihitatvat. Vihitatvat means directed, enjoined. Why? Because this aparavidya vishaya, this subject matter of aparavidya in the form of sadhana sadhya, in the form of karma karma phala, in the form of karma upasana and going to swarga brahmaloka, is directed towards vihitatvat. Because of it being directed towards what kind of a person? Doshavan purushaha, doshavantam purusham. Prati, prati means towards the person who is inherently flawed, not flawed in the thinking. Doshavantam purusham prati vihitatvat. What kind of dosha? What is the fallacy here? What is the flawed? What is the flaw? Avidya is the flaw. It says avidyadi. Avidya is the flaw. I am an idiot. That kind of a limited thought, flaw. Therefore I feel incomplete, flaw. And then after that, I have to do something in order to feel complete. I have to gather some degrees. Why? Because I do not have a pedigree. Therefore, I have to gather a degree. Or if I don't have both degree or pedigree, what will I gather? Some kind of name, fame, riches. I have to gather riches in order to matter. I have to have something in order to matter. I don't matter at all. I'm invisible. Why are you invisible? Well, that's how I feel. Nobody looks at me. And 8 billion people in the world are thinking the same thing at the same time. Nobody is looking at me. Think about this, yeah. I'm invisible. So therefore what? I have to, because I cannot stand all these feelings centered on this I have to get rid of this feeling by doing something, by appearing to be better than I am. It's like a kitten in front of the mirror. The kitten goes in front of the mirror, sees what? How dare this other kitten come in? What is this doing? And so it hunches its back and has like a mohawk design over there. Yeah. And then all the hairs are standing on end, and then only sideways it will look big. Straight away it will just look like a small puddle. So therefore sideways it will walk to show off. This is how the samsari also walks. Look at me, I am great. I have this, I have that. You are not seeing me, I am invisible, but look, I am great. Like that, because threatened by everything that one is not. Dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. Threatened by everything that one is not, one has a posturing, a presentation of self that is obnoxious, really speaking, but that is how we lead our lives. So the presentation of self which doesn't have anything to do with how one is feeling, an inauthentic presentation of self. So such a person only will subscribe to the karma which is aparavidya vishaya given in the first portion of the Veda. Further, tad anusthana karya bhutaha cha lokaha. Yeah. So now, up till now, what was the subject matter of all the adjectives? Aparavidya vishaya was the subject matter. Now we are going from this to lokaha. Everything is now going to be, going to be qualifying the word lokaha. Okay. So, tad anusthana karya bhutaha lokaha. Tad anusthana means what? What is this tat? This aparavidya vishaya anusthana. So the performance of this aparavidya, how is it going to come to me? In the form of the effect of karma. Karya bhuta. Karma phala is called karya bhutaha. And what is the effect of karma? What is the usefulness of karma? The gain of various fields of experiences, desirable and undesirable. So various lokas. Even going on a holiday, karma phala, or going to some other loka, karma phala. So the gain of these various, what are they called? What does he call them? Yeah, karya bhutaha lokaha. Karya bhutaha lokaha. And then he will explain himself, and at the end of the sentence say phala bhutaha, in that which is there in the form of karma phala. And then characterized by what? Ye dakshina uttara marga Lakshanaha, Phalabhutaha. So these lokas are characterized by what? Ye qualifies lokaha. Ye lokaha, and then the ye lokaha qualified by what? Shuklagati, Krishnagati, Dakshina, Uttara Margaha. Qualified by various solar path, lunar path, all these things, various qualified by various things in the form of Lakshanaha, means qualified by, characterized by, and in the form of fruits of action. Yecha, Vihita, Akarana, Pratishedha, Atikrama, Dosha Sadhyaha, Narakatiryak, Preta Lakshanaha. He can be very, very, yeah, he can be extremely edgy when he writes. So, this is an example. We'll just see the translation. We'll go into it tomorrow. So, ye means what? What is ye? Lokaha. Don't forget. These are all qualifying lokas. Don't say ye purushaha. No. Ye lokaha. Okay. These are qualifying lokas. Ye lokaha cha, characterized by what? Vihita karma. To be done action. Akarana. And slipped actions. Not done actions. Akarane pratyavayaha iti. Iti shravanat. Iti smaranat. So therefore, so akarana means slippage. Vihita, enjoined karmas, slipping from karmas. Pratishedha means what? Forbidden karmas. Do not tell lies, do not do this, all this. Forbidden karmas. And then atikrama means transgression of dharma. All this. So all these fallacies, these karmas in the form of vihita karma, all these things that have to be undertaken, full of these fallacies. So dosha sadhyaha, doshaihi sadhyaha. So what is sadhya? That's going to be explained. Various lokas. What are these lokas? These lokas in the form of naraka. Naraka means what? Hell. Yeah. And then tiryak, animal bodies. And then preta. Preta means what? Ghostly bodies, disembodied bodies. Preta lakshanaha. Preta lakshanaha what? Lokaha. Etan lokan parikshya. And then he will say how to do this pariksha. We'll see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.